Top 10 Donalds. Number 10. Hot Chocolate Donald. Hot Chocolate Donald from Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas is probably the most relatable Donald on the list. All he wants to do is get away from all of the hustle and bustle and all of the forced capitalism of the Christmas season.
Don't you want to see the Christmas window at Mousie's? And smell lots of greasy grub in the food court? And wander around aimlessly looking for the perfect gift?
He just wants to relax and enjoy a good cup of hot chocolate. Daisy and his 3 nephews just don't seem to understand. Is it really that bad to want to get away from all of the cheer for just a moment?
All I want is peace, quiet, and my hot chocolate.
Number 9. Filler Magic Donald. Yet another CGI Donald. This one earned a spot in our hearts by doing what he does best, screwing everything up. And then he goes on a musical adventure through various Disney movies to fix his mistake. Now, while Mickey's Filler Magic may not exactly be the best ride in all of Fantasyland, it sure is a good place to rest your feet while you prepare to stand for an hour in the Small World queue. And it really is a good place to go if you like Donald Duck. On a side note, why is the attraction not called Donald's Filler Magic instead of Mickey's Filler Magic? It clearly has a lot more Donald in it. Number 8. Computer.Dawn. Computer.Dawn is perhaps one of the funniest and one of the best cartoons ever made by Mickey Mouse Works back in the turn of the century.
Welcome to Ajax Computers. To order a computer, press 1.
So basically, Donald buys a computer because Daisy pressures him into it.
Donald, you better get a computer or I'll find a new modern boyfriend.
Just like any good girlfriend would do, I guess. And fearing that he might be labeled a dweeb if he doesn't own a computer, Donald tries setting it up, only to realize how complicated owning a computer was back in the early 2000s.
Plus your keyboard, circuit board, surfboard, ironing board, CD, DVD, zippity-doo-dotty, monitor, speaker, scanner, printer, and last but not least, your mouse.
Sucking at basic manual following, he eventually gets sucked into the computer, and thus becomes the first classic Disney character to have ever been rendered in CGI. Number 7. The Duck Avenger. Now, I've never actually read these comics, but this Donald looks amazing. Number 6. Murderous, fun, and fancy-free Donald.
What diabolical thought is being hatched in the fevered brain of this poor, demented duck?
Now, I've seen this one be nominated as one of the scariest Disney moments ever, and I really don't see anything traumatizing. It's actually kind of funny. It's always fun when Disney characters break. It's like a glitch in the Matrix or something. I've never actually seen that movie. I don't know if I'm using that term correctly. And what better character to break than Donald? The character that was specifically created to do the kind of stuff that it wouldn't have been right for Mickey to do. But hey, at least he was trying to eat the cow instead of, you know, Mickey or Goofy. Now that would have been a completely different story. Number 5. Caballero Donald.
This is your gift from Mexico, Donald. A piñata.
A piñata! What's a piñata?
Look, I perfectly understand if you think that The Three Caballeros is a boring movie. I won't deny it could have a bit more plot, but Donald's Caballero look is still really iconic, proving that probably FDR propaganda was a lot more lasting and touching than we usually give it credit for. As a sombrero-wearing and culturally appropriating caballero, Donald seems to be the American that is trying to fit in among Latinos, but he can't always do it perfectly. I'll give him credit though, he's trying. He really is trying. And that's what makes this Donald one of the best Donalds. And what makes Donald as a character so much more interesting than Mickey in general. He may have a bad temper, he may be stubborn, and maybe things never go his way, but he's always trying to make the best out of every situation. Maybe he sometimes needs a little help with that, but at the end of the day, he really has a heart of gold. Number 4. Educational Donald from the 50s. Hey kids! You like Donald Duck? Want to learn about math? Well, here you go anyways. what can I say? It's just really fun to see how Disney has been getting into the educational business since so long ago. And let me tell ya, I hate math. I'm terrible at it. But Donald Duck in Math Magic Land actually makes it kind of interesting and genuinely fun.
Pi is equal to 3.141592653589747, etc., etc., etc.
It's pretty funny how over the top some of these shorts can get too.
Cleaning fluid plus stove equals a surefire method for removing spots.
I also love the style in these ones, and the style of this time period in general. It's so googie, it's 50s all the way through. It's nice to see how Disney handled the 50s when it came to animation, and it's a really good style. That's why I really like these.
Don't blame fate for your carelessness.
Number 3. The Donald that we wouldn't want to talk about. Now, I think this one is self-explanatory. Seriously though, 1943's Their Furious Face may be extremely inappropriate today, but it's still really funny. I mean, there's a reason why it won an Oscar. It's kind of crazy how a Donald Duck cartoon of all things makes fun of the Nazi regime in a way that I don't think any other cartoon of its era had the courage to do. It's funny, it's over the top, it's ridiculous, and the song is really catchy, but it's just something that you wouldn't like the principal hearing you sing.
When Herr Goebbels says we own the world in space, we Heil, right in Herr Goebbels' face. Then Herr Göring says they'll never bomb this place. We Heil, right in Herr Göring's face.
Number 2. Crossover Piano Donald. Hey, ever wanted to see Daffy Duck and Donald Duck share screen time together? Well, 1988's Who Framed Roger Rabbit made that dream of ours come true, along with many, many more. And well, their interaction simply doesn't disappoint. It's exactly what it would be like if these two crazy ducks ever got together.
Does anybody understand what this duck is saying?
I wish we could get something like this again. I don't think it's possible though. It's also pretty extraordinary how well this scene has aged. The special effects, they still hold up after 30 years, and it's amazing. I mean, that applies to the whole movie, of course, but there's something in this scene in particular that just makes me so happy. It's probably the fact that they're playing Hungarian Rhapsody No. 2. Who doesn't smile when that song plays? It's so amazing. And no, you guys, Donald Duck doesn't ever say the N-word. He's obviously saying doggone stubborn little, which is his catchphrase and makes a lot more sense. And the number 1 Donald of all time is Wartime Donald. So you may think that this is the same Donald as Nazi Donald, but in this one, I'm specifically referring to American Soldier Donald, the one who joined the army to pick up babes, or the Donald that was urged to pay his taxes to help the military.
Yeah, it's my dough.
Aye, laddie, it's your dough, but it's your war too. You must save for victory.
Now, the reason why I like this one so much is because it's such a product of its time, and there's no way we'd ever get something like this out of modern Disney. I also think it's kind of funny how despite the fact that Mickey was the most popular Disney character back in the day, they nevertheless decided to use Donald to teach us about the atrocities of World War II, as if Mickey just wouldn't have been able to handle that. In general, I adore World War II propaganda cartoons, not just the Disney ones. Wartime cartoons are a really interesting phenomenon to look into, but that's a video for a different day. I also really like that song from The Army's Not the Army Anymore. Why are wartime songs always so catchy?
The Army's not the Army anymore. It's better than it's ever been before. You used to walk a mile for beans, but now they bring 'em to you. And all the generals say hello as though they really knew you. Oh, the Army's not the Army anymore.
So there's my list of the top 10 Donald Ducks. Which ones did I miss? Which ones are your favorites? What Disney character should I do a top 10 on next? Leave your comments in the comment section below and go follow me on Pinterest. Also, make sure to subscribe if you like this kind of content. I'm now working on a video called What Would a Mexican Disney Park Look Like? Thanks a lot for watching and I'll see you next time.